Yeah. Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Let's get it. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam. Sean on the mic, very flat too. Keep you updated, that's what we do. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your boy John Altidor with Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Back at you again with another one of my boys, Vladimir. The show's going to veer into a more serious topic that has taken the nation by storm. You know, that's swept all over the place now. It's now international. You know, there's places outside of the U.S. going through this stuff, and we're talking about police brutality. With the passing of Mr. George Floyd, and rest in peace to him, and condolences to his family. And it's crazy that some people have to lose their life for certain things to happen, for certain things to change. I don't know if that's what's going on right now, but it's been a crazy week. And for the people that are living under a rock for some reason, George Floyd is a man that was killed during an arrest by Minneapolis police, and he was screaming and begging for his life, telling them that he couldn't breathe, and the guy had his foot on his neck, and he ended up dying from that situation. And that has sparked a lot of turmoil, a lot of rioting, a lot of protests all across America, and even right here in Boston, where we seen that yesterday, and one thing's going on today too. So I just wanted to make sure that as a show, as three black men, we make sure we get these topics to the forefront, because these are the things that we're going through, as the people that this stuff affected. I don't know what you guys' relationship with the police are individually, but I'm sure all of us can talk, about a situation where we were made to feel uncomfortable, with the police or within our interactions with them. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on how you're feeling this week, first of all, from what happened, and really how you're feeling internally because of this.
It's been a long week. And also it's been a long, the whole quarantine thing with the whole coronavirus, it's been very emotionally draining. And then not too long ago, we had the Marbury case, and that was really tough. And that's something I actually wanted to talk about on the podcast, but we've been talking about so many different things. I just forgot to bring it up. And I think from the Marbury thing now to the George Floyd thing, it's as a black man, I just feel somewhat responsible to not to venge for their death, but to speak up and say something for things to change. And I feel as though I feel as though I'm bearing that responsibility. And if I'm not either participating in the conversation, if I'm not raising awareness, if I'm not out there marching, if I'm not donating to the cause, if I'm not signing the different petitions, if I'm not calling my white friends out, I feel as though I'm helping the cause if I'm not doing any of that. So this whole week, I've been, thinking about the whole situation, thinking about the people out there on the streets that are marching, that are being, they're being made to be thugs, like the President of the United States. And these people are just out there really just trying to provoke change and trying to get justice for these guys that's been dying. And also, they're getting justice for me. I could be the guy out there on the street that gets stopped because I didn't put my signal to take a left or something, what I mean, in the cop. You know what I mean? So, and I feel this, it's hard to explain, but I feel this,
Burden?
This burden this burden on me to do something, and I don't know what to do. So I've donated to the GoFundMe page that the George Floyd family has set up. I've signed a petition to get the cops not just arrested, but for them to charge them with murder. And also, they arrested the one guy that had his knee on George Floyd's neck, but they haven't arrested the 3 other guys that were there just watching. And also, this whole thing, like I've mentioned that on the show before. I have this page on Instagram that's dedicated to food, and anytime I cook, anytime I go to a restaurant, I post on it. And this whole week, I've been cooking, I've been eating, but I haven't posted anything that has to do with that, just because I feel as though I have a platform, and I don't want to occupy that platform with something that doesn't matter this week. And that also put me in a little bit of a conundrum. Just, it makes me feel tight because I can't express myself in any way but pay attention to what's going on. And I feel as though if I'm not posting something that has to do with what's going on, then I'm just not participating in helping out. So it's been an emotionally draining week. This is my first time actually talking about it out loud, and I'm sure you can tell I'm even struggling to get some of the words out.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to keep talking. I have more to say, but I want to give you guys a chance to express yourself, and then I can gather my thoughts and give some more.
Nah, thanks for that, man.
Yeah, thank you, Vlad.
I think we're feeling a lot of the same things you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Barry, what was going on through your head?
Whew, man, definitely going through similar emotions, and can definitely feel, for Vlad, as we all can as black men. This has certainly been one of the most toughest and most emotional and and frustrating weeks that have transpired and that I've been witnessed throughout my whole life, to say the least. It's really, like I said, it's tough to really talk about, but we're definitely doing our best to express ourselves and get our thoughts and how we feel about what's been going on. With that situation that happened this week in Minnesota, and it's really tough, being a black man in corporate America. I've always said that's the most difficult and hardest thing to do in this country is, being a black, male in this society, and because unfortunately, law enforcement and society doesn't make it any easier and any harder on us, and we're not, haven't gotten that equality that we deserve to get and that we should be getting from society. This has happened on too many occasions, and it's it's really tough to see someone lose their life in that way for no reason, over the police trying to do something that they're clearly not supposed to be doing, and something that's illegal and unethical. So, it's definitely a really, it's really saddening and heartbreaking, and and a very tragic thing that happened to George Floyd. R.I.P. to him, and prayers to and condolences to his family. I can only imagine what they're going through. I felt like, even though I didn't know him, I felt deeply affected by this, death, as I'm sure both of you guys did. I've never felt so affected by someone else's death, and never came to tears and never like had those kind of emotions for someone that I didn't really know and didn't have any sort of, relation with than what I saw with George Floyd this week. I mean, my heart literally just sank and like was teary-eyed, and just felt like I was about to have an emotional breakdown when I saw that 8-minute video of the cop taking a knee right on his neck and legit even had the audacity to like smirk and not even in completely disregard George Floyd, saying that he couldn't breathe and he was and begging for his life and begging the officer to get off of him. So it was certainly a very sickening and had me sick to my stomach seeing that video of the officer treated that way and treating him that way and doing that to him, and also even having those other officers that were with him witness that and not take any sort of action to get the officer off of George Floyd and and pretty much like save the guy's life and not really let him kill him right then and there in broad daylight where many people were able to see. And it's just like it's ridiculous that we've really gotten to this point where we have some people who are in these positions in law enforcement that think that it's okay to do something like that, and that they think they can actually get away with it, and that it'll be covered up and still keep their job and still have that hatred and animosity towards people that didn't really do anything to them and that don't deserve that kind of treatment. So it's certainly, I've been posting a lot about it on Facebook and been pretty active as far as voicing my outrage and and my thoughts and opinions on the whole situation and on racism and police brutality. It's definitely something that I'm strongly against, and hope that this situation can bring some awareness and open up everybody's eyes to see that things really do need to change for the better in this society, and that we need to do something about it. But I feel as if the black community and the black people, they've tried obviously to do things to where awareness and to voice their outrage and get their thoughts out there. But I feel as if though white people definitely need to do it more, and I'm glad that I've been seeing a lot more white people this week that since that incident have voiced their outrage and opinions and have stood up for for the black people who are suffering through this and that are really going through a lot and have gone through a lot in the and as long as this country has been here. So it's good to see that they've definitely supported us to an extent. Hopefully that continues moving forward. I've, tried my best to, get, my thoughts out there and try to, raise, awareness and, let people know how I feel and, what I think about the incident and, racism and police brutality, and I'll definitely continue that and do whatever I feel like is necessary in order to in order to stand up against racism and police brutality and help in whatever way I can in order to for things to change and for the generations after us to have a better life and a better culture that they can feel comfortable in living in and not have to witness and go through things like we have witnessed this week. So yeah, I know I took up a lot of time, John. I'll give you a chance to speak. I know I've had a lot on my mind this week and it's been really bothering me, but I definitely just wanted to give my thoughts on that situation with George Floyd and how I really feel about it. So yeah, John, I'll definitely give you a chance to speak, but I appreciate you being patient and letting me get my thoughts and how I feel about what's going on.
No, I think it's this week especially. It's time to start listening to some people, because I think that's where we are in this country, because nobody's been listening to anything, especially when it comes to the things that go on in the black community. A lot of people want to make excuses as to why certain things are happening when these things are happening. To avert from what's actually happening. And like both of you guys, this week it's definitely been an emotional week for me. Internally emotional, internal stress. Just thinking about this every single day. You guys are friends of mine on Facebook. You see me making several posts, and just like you guys, I understand I do have a platform, and we're about sports, and we're trying to entertain people with sports. But this week I felt like I couldn't do any of that. I run a lot of our pages, a lot of the stuff on Instagram. I'm the one posting it, and I felt like I couldn't just go on as regularly scheduled because things are not going as they should in this country. And I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, especially around now. Like Vlad was saying, you got coronavirus, and then you got the Ahmaud Arbery stuff going on, and then you got the lady that's calling, the cops on the bird watcher in New York, and you can clearly see her talking about, I'm gonna call the police and say an African American man is threatening my life. If that doesn't illustrate what the problem with this country is to you, you have a problem. And you need to talk to people that actually go through this stuff, because you're not thinking right. If you really need explanations for why some of these things, why people are bothered about a lot of these things, you need to go and find somebody that doesn't look like you or doesn't have the same mindset as you to actually understand what's going on. A lot of people want to bring up black on black crime when this stuff is happening. And it's like, man, this shit is not about black on black crime right now. You know what I'm saying? First of all, that's not even a thing. Because you know why? There's no white on white crime. There's no Mexican on Mexican crime. There's no Asian on Asian crime. But it's all people committing crimes. Okay, you commit crimes to those you're close to. If I don't have a relationship with you, I don't have no reason to go kill you. If I have a relationship with you and we've been beefing for years, then I have some kind of situation. And if we're in the same community, this is what just happens. White people kill white people. Indians kill Indians. And so on and so forth. So it's like, don't give me that kind of excuse. And I think that's what pisses me off the most. And it's like, when something is as blatant as what happened to George Floyd, when the guy gets murdered right on camera, and you still have an excuse as to why that happened to him. Oh, he wasn't complying. Maybe there was something else going on. It's like, no, man. People write bad checks all the time. People's checks bounced all the time, but people are not getting killed for it. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna talk about complying and stuff. The guy didn't struggle with them at all. You know, and you see that the guy had no issues. You know, he was complying. Even when he was down, the guy's foot is on his neck. He's not fighting the guy to get the foot off his neck, even though he's dying. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't fight him off because there was two other dudes on his foot and back. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what is it you're not getting, you know, as part of people in the other community, right? How much clearer does it need to be, right? And this whole rioting stuff, I see a lot of people talking about, a lot of people are more outraged over the riots than they are over the guy that died. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's like misplaced emotions. Like, these things can be replaced. Lives can't. And it's been going on for years, for centuries. You know, it's not just the police, it's the system, it's the way things are run, it's the people we got in charge of this country, it's the people that make the laws. It's a lot wrong with this situation, you know, and we just can't sit back and just continue with our regular lives if these things are happening, especially as black men who are on the road all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get killed over a busted tailpipe or something like that, you know, or because I reached for my registration and you thought I was going to get a weapon. Like, what is that? You know, like, this doesn't happen to other cultures, you know, and I see a lot of people talking about, oh, these people are complaining a lot, and that just pisses me off, because it's like, man, if your people were getting killed at a disproportionate rate all the time, you would be outraged. You know, and racism did not just start with this whole situation. It's not about George Floyd. It's not about, you know, Ahmaud Arbery. It's about everybody that's gone through this stuff and that hasn't seen justice. It's about Sandra Bland, you know what I mean, who hasn't seen it. It's about Tamir Rice. You know, it's about Emmett Till, going all the way back then. It's about all that. You know, it's about slavery. You know, we've paid our dues, and it's time, you know, for us to live peacefully just like the rest of everybody. You know, our skin color is not a weapon. There's nothing to fear. You know, for the most part, I can say if we're all getting pulled over by the police, we're all like, oh shit, what the, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's like, yo, I'm gonna cuss this dude out once he comes to this freaking window. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually terrified these days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying.
Like, now when I get pulled over, I keep my hand on the steering wheel just because I've heard of those things happening. I've heard of those people getting shot. I've heard of those cops mistreating those guys, so I'm actually terrified now when I get pulled over.
For no reason.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
And we're not even bad people. We don't have no weapons. I've never seen you guys carry weapons.
No.
You guys don't deal drugs. You guys work. Why is it we have to be scared? I have a daughter. She's in my car pretty much all the time. Why is it if I get pulled over, I have to be nervous, but I haven't done anything wrong? And that's the problem. You know, that's what you got to realize is the problem. Our mindset is different than the majority. And that's not fair to us. That's not fair to our kids that are growing up. That's not fair to your kids, white people. Like, if you know, I don't want to. I have a lot of white friends. I just want to put that out there. You know, I have a lot of. There's nothing wrong with my Caucasian friends. There's nothing wrong with being friends with white people. It's just the stuff that's going on. If you're not speaking up about it, like Vlad is saying, you're complicit. You're okay with this if you're not speaking up. Okay, and if you're gonna call yourself my friend and you're not speaking up for something that's affecting my life potentially, then you know you can't call yourself a friend of mine. You know, and I've expressed as much on my Facebook, you know, and I'm gonna express that on all platforms that I control. If you're not speaking up for what's going on, especially if we're friends, you know, we have a major problem. That we can't be, you know, part of the same. We can't be part of the same team. We can't be in the same room. You know, because I'm uncomfortable with that. Because you're telling me you're okay with the things that happen to people that look exactly like me, and that's not right. You know, and if it's the same thing. If a white man was killed by a police officer, I'd be just as outraged because they don't have the right to kill people, especially if you don't have weapons. That's what it comes down to. If you don't have weapons, because we've seen other people have weapons and they've got away with their lives. right?
Mhm.
You've seen white people go inside a freaking church and kill people that are praying, and then get brought to Burger King or McDonald's or whatever before they get brought to prison. You know what I'm saying? And then you got a guy that's talking about a bad check who's dying for no reason. Like, I don't understand that.
And also, why did this happen again? This literally happened maybe 4 or 5 years ago in New York.
Yes.
What's the name of that guy?
Was it Eric Garner?
With Eric Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
This literally happened not too long ago. And you know, it happened not too long ago, so in my mind, for some reason, my idiot ass think, oh, it'll never happen again, because those cops have seen what happened in New York. And literally the same thing happened 5 years ago. It's unbelievable. It's not even a lifetime afterwards, or like, you know, when I'm dead or 50 years later. It happened literally in my same lifetime,
Just
in the same
recently.
decade. Like,
Right.
why is it happening again? It's really frustrating.
It's not
It is,
history repeating
absolutely.
itself. It's definitely not. It's these
It's
guys
not-
knowing that they can get away with this,
Yeah.
so they're gonna do this regardless.
Right,
You know, they haven't
right.
learned because they haven't faced any consequences. And you know, people have the nerve to talk about don't be looting stuff. It's like, man, what else do you want us to do?
To do, right,
What
exactly.
else? What else?
Exactly.
You kneel,
Facts.
then you get called sons of bitches. You lose your whole goddamn job. Okay,
Mhm.
you're just out of a career because you kneel. All right.
Right.
Okay, you go to the politicians, you protest in front of the state house, nothing changed. They still got pedophiles, you know, in office doing all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now what else do you have left? How long do you want to continue do this? How long do you want to continue doing this before people react in the way that they're reacting right now? Like how long do you expect for these people, for us to keep going through this, you know, without any reaction?
Well, you know, that's what people in Minnesota are saying. People in Minnesota are saying it's been a long time coming. This is not just over George Floyd. This is
It's not.
This is
It's
years.
not. It isn't.
This is multiple years, multiple decades of built up anger. And I don't know why you're criticizing us for being upset. Like, we have the right to be upset. All the black people that are out there marching, that are out there protesting, you guys have a right to be upset. As far as looting and as far as looting and rioting goes, I'm obviously not for going into breaking businesses.
Nobody is.
and
Yeah, of course not.
stealing stuff. But also, have you guys? I don't know. As you guys have seen on social media, there has been conflicting reports about who has started the riots and who has started the looting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you saw this white guy with his mask on, and I'm not sure if he's an undercover cop or not, but there has been posts on Facebook saying he's an undercover cop.
Yeah.
He's literally going with a hammer and breaking into the stores.
Breaking windows.
And, and there has been reports about the looting and the rioting is not necessarily starting by the black people that are protesting. It's actually being started by white supremacists that are taking advantage of black people protesting, that are taking advantage of our suffering to make us look even worse.
Right. Facts.
And also, when you look at the videos on YouTube and Facebook, you've seen the white people going into Target stealing shit. So don't blame it on us. We are just angry about what happened and what's possibly gonna happen to us, our sons, our brothers, our dad, our sisters, and our mothers. That's what we are protesting about. The fucking looting thing, that's you guys starting this shit, and don't blame it on us. And don't tell us how to be angry. Don't tell us how to protest our anger. Don't tell us how to do anything. Right now, it's about justice for us. It's about justice for our family. It's about justice for all these people that died over decades and decades. And also, I want to say rest in peace to George Floyd. I wanna big up Jalen Brown for going down to Atlanta to marching. I think he's leading by example.
Definitely. Big shout out to Jalen Brown.
I've always liked Jalen Brown, so I support that a lot. Big shout out to Barack Obama coming out and posting this beautiful message on Twitter. And fuck Donald Trump for saying that he's gonna shoot anybody that's looting, and also for describing the protesters as thugs. when people were protesting against the quarantine, when the white people were protesting against the quarantine with their AR-15, with their guns, he called them great people. I forgot
very,
exactly.
very fine.
Right, he spoke highly of
Both
them.
sides.
Whatever.
Yeah, he praised them, exactly. Right.
Whatever word he used for them. And when it came to the black people protesting, he called them thugs. So fuck Donald Trump, big up to Obama, big up to Jalen Brown, and big up to everybody else that's doing great. I also saw a post calling out some of those high celebrities that are not talking right now, such as Oprah, Ellen, those guys that have the platforms that none of us will ever have. You know what I mean?
Right, facts.
They have platforms that can reach millions and millions of people.
Facts.
Any of those high celebrities that are not taking the opportunity right now to speak up, fuck all you guys. And thank you for everybody that's posting, that's going to the riots. I saw Kat calling Tony Towns. He was watching with Steven Jackson.
He was at his press conference.
I mean, this Clarkson kid.
At the end of the day, this is a sports podcast, so shout out to all the poor athletes that are actually going out there speaking up and also protesting against this.
No, I think that's very well said, Vlad. And if it sounds like, Vlad was angry, that's because he is. And I think that's because we all are.
Yes, definitely. I'm trying to control it, but it's hard to.
And I think when Colin Kaepernick started kneeling, a lot of the people that were complaining about him kneeling and protesting, what they said was, "Oh, you get paid millions. This doesn't affect your life. You're a millionaire. What does it have to do with anything?" You know what I'm saying? And the other thing they kept saying, "Oh, this shouldn't be happening in sports. Sports is an escape." All right, let me tell you why the sports athletes protest and why Colin Kaepernick was kneeling. This guy that died this week was a very close friend to Steven Jackson. A former pro basketball player who's played on many championship teams. And he was a gritty athlete, one of the top athletes when he was playing in the league. One tough guy to play with, one core guy, a good team guy. He was an enforcer, of sorts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that because you're talking about sports is an escape from this. The athletes that are playing this sport cannot escape from this. All right? Steven Jackson's brother, who he calls Michael Floyd, his twin actually, could not escape this. They look just alike. They are living this life. Even though they're a pro athlete, they still got family members that deal with this shit all the time. Still got family members that are getting killed out there, arrested for no reason out there. This is why people like LeBron James speaks out all the time. And if you have a problem with that, this is exactly why. If you didn't understand why, this is exactly why. I want to actually play, what Steven Jackson was saying about his brother this week, because, as you can imagine, this has hit him hard, and he wants to speak out about it. So I thought what he said was great, and condolences to him, and I hope he comes out of this stronger. And thank you to him for doing everything that he did. So
big shout out to Steven Jackson for sure.
That they did was murder. When was murder ever murder? It was a black man. It's approved. You can't tell me when that man had his knee on my brother's neck, taking his life away, with his hand in his pocket, that smirk on his face didn't say I'm protected.
Yeah, so that was Steven Jackson right there. This was a press conference he held, and I believe Jamie Foxx was there. Trade of Truth or something like that was there.
Right.
Anthony
Towns was there as well. He was at the press conference.
And they were talking just as regular black men. They said it themselves. We're not celebrities. We're here, because we're brothers. We know we're friends. You know what I'm saying? And not to take this even longer because we could do this whole show about this.
Right,
We could do 3 shows just about this one topic.
Right,
We're not
facts.
gonna do that, but we still want to make sure things are happening out there. So if you want to see some change, man, sign a petition. Sign a petition at change.com. Petition so they can charge all the police officers involved with the murder. And the link will be on the description for the podcast. Okay, you can find that on there, and you can also donate to the GoFundMe site link, and the link will be in the description for the podcast as well.
So George Floyd's family set up a GoFundMe for his funeral and for everything that's going on. So like John said, we'll have that link on the description of the podcast for you guys to click on and donate to the GoFundMe, and also sign the petition. The petition is specifically to arrest the police officers that were there when that murdered Michael Floyd, and also so that they could charge them with murder. So make sure you sign that. Thank you. Anything that we can do will definitely help. Last thing I want to say before we move on. John brought up the Colin Kaepernick thing, and a couple of years ago I actually stopped watching football in support of Colin Kaepernick, and actually literally I thought of not watching football ever again. But John, brought up the idea of doing a podcast, and in order to do a podcast, I do enjoy football still, and also Colin Kaepernick had gotten paid for what happened, and it seemed like he was getting back into the league, so I didn't mind coming back, but I don't ever want to take for granted what Colin Kaepernick did and what he went through, and him not playing football right now is because he actually stood up for something that we all believe in. So big up to Colin Kaepernick as well. He also came out and said that he'll, I forget exactly what he said, don't quote me, but I think he said he'll bail out some of the protesters.
He'll actually pay for their lawyers.
He'll pay for legal fees. So big up to Colin Kaepernick again. Thank you for kneeling, doing the simplest thing, kneeling on the floor, not on somebody's neck.
At the end of the day, he was right, and the NFL put out a statement about the whole situation, and they just look stupid. You guys look like dummies, because this guy was telling you about this whole stuff, and now you look stupid putting out a statement. It was good that you put it out in the first place, but with the whole situation with Kaepernick, it just looks dumb. You don't believe in what you're saying. Give him his damn job back.
I just want to thank the fans for listening to that part of the podcast. And
Definitely.
I think any of our fans that listen to our podcast should understand how important this issue was to us, and how important that issue was to talk about. And if there's any fans that actually don't think we should have talked about this, don't even listen.
Right, facts. We really only want the real ones listening to us and listening to our podcast and supporting us, anyways, and people that respect our beliefs and our opinions and our thoughts and respect us as people. So if you're not with that, then fuck you guys, honestly. On some real shit.
This show's getting real.
Right, that ass. I'm not even, BSing and keeping it 100. So that's just. I know y'all got me fired up now with what we just spoke about. So now I'm definitely, feeling y'all vibe. I'm, definitely hyped and as tight as you guys are.
Nah, they gotta understand, just going off of what you say, you don't have to, go along with what we believe in, our beliefs and stuff like that.
Right.
But when it comes to this situation, you better be along with this fucking belief, alright? This shit is not right.
Exactly.
If you ain't along with that shit, just stop listening to this shit. Right?
Exactly.
We don't need people like that, and on our platform, listening to what the stuff that we got going on, because we want equality for all, white, black. We don't care what the race is. We just want everything to be equal.
Exactly.
Stop killing people. Period. That's it.
Right. Fact.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like Pro Fan Sports Podcast videos, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps us out greatly.
New episode will be dropping every Wednesday morning. Clips will be dropping every Wednesday afternoon. Click on the bell button for notifications on all our new videos. Thank you.